welcome to In the Mix. We have a very special Millennial Summit Focus edition. I'm joined by the lovely Sarah Fulton of Spur Impact, who is the, we'll say, lead organizer in the summit. I know that might be giving you a little too much credit, but
it's a team effort. It's a team effort. Actually, I'm more behind the scenes. We've got this really great volunteer committee that really makes the event as big as it is. So I'm just there for like the boring stuff.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I've seen you behind the scenes, and you're a workhorse. So don't,
Yeah.
don't discredit yourself here. Millennial Summit is happening August 6th and 7th at the Chase Center on the Riverfront with a special social media preview panel on August 5th. Is that correct?
Totally. Basically, we're dominating that week, so you're going to want to get to the Chase Center in Wilmington that week.
So we have some wonderful guests with us today. I'm going to quickly go down the line. Each and every one of them is involved in the Millennial Summit in some way, shape, or form. First, Terrance Vann, to our left here, independent artist and co-founder of Vibe Pro. Is that correct?
Yes,
Did I get that right? All right.
We're gonna get into it.
We will get into that, absolutely. Misty Tyson, who is Thursday's MC. She's the visual communications creator at Creative Cartwheel. Tamarra Morris, the Economic Development Director with Newcastle County. And Greg Watkins, Grouchy Greg, founder of allhiphop.com. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
So where do we start? I mean, Millennial Summit, you want to just give the quick rundown on who, what, where, when? I mean, we did the what, when, but.
Sure. So the Millennial Summit is a big interdisciplinary professional development. Well, it used to be one day, but now it's, like we say, spanning a couple of days, where it is the hottest event of the summer, in my personal opinion. We've got entrepreneurs, we've got artists, we've got finance professionals, we have government officials, staff from different nonprofits, all sorts of people convening in Wilmington, Delaware. And this is the misconception, is just because it takes place in Delaware doesn't mean it's just a Delaware event. We've got speakers coming in from all across the country. So actually, I believe the person traveling the furthest this year is coming from Hawaii, and she is going to be speaking on one of our nonprofit panels. So she's going to be talking about the homelessness epidemic in Hawaii, and we've got some of those problems here in Delaware. So we've got people coming from Hawaii, from Utah, from New York, just over the line in Philadelphia, all sorts of folks coming from all sorts of places, because Wilmington, Delaware is the place for the next generation of small business owners, tech startups, you name it. And that's over the last 3 years, just the third annual Millennial Summit. The event has just kind of grown and grown, and this year we expect more than 1,000 people to come join us. So
that's excellent.
Yeah, we're really excited, but we still have opportunities to get your tickets. So so definitely do that, millsummit.com.
How many speakers in total?
Actually, I think we have passed over, if you count keynotes, speakers, panelists, and then we've got a thing called the Coaches Corner. So both on Tuesday, the Leadership Day, and Wednesday, the Entrepreneurship Day, we've got some coaches that you can come in and like sit down for like 20 minutes with folks who can tell you about finances, or like if you want to start a business, things like that. So between all of the speakers and coaches, I think we have more than 150 folks on
That's
stage.
insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And like I say, we've got this really cool volunteer planning committee, and some folks here are on the planning committee that have helped us wrangle some of the best and brightest business leaders, government folks, nonprofit business, like executives, staffers, you name it. It's a really cool day, and there's something for everyone.
If you don't mind me being cheesy, I love how you throw everyone in the mix all together.
Yes.
So let's start down the line. Terrance, I know you've been involved since year one. Is that correct? I know you were involved last year at
Year
least.
one,
So
yes.
okay.
I'm an OG in the Millennial Summit game.
So what is your OG role in the Millennial Summit, and what specifically will you be doing this year?
So I've been on the planning committee and the arts initiative committee, and we've, tried to tackle some creative ways to, bring awareness to like different things that we do at the summit itself, but also outside of the summit. We've done a few events that highlighted different artists and kind of different things around Wilmington, that we thought were cool. So that's kind of been my role, and this year I'm going to be speaking on a few panels, so I'm really looking forward to that. I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I love the way the arts are so deeply integrated into the Millennial Summit. And it's been like that from day one, but I feel like this year in particular, you've really got...
Yeah. Actually, on Wednesday, Entrepreneurship Day, we have a panel that's talking about the economic impact of the arts. So we've got some stuff happening on Tuesday, but also from that economic development lens, like what's happening in Wilmington.
I mean, it's massive. You have so many things happening on so many different scales. You've got the small grassroots stuff that's popping up. You have the larger, well-funded institutions that have been around for years. And when you really count up all those little tick marks, the impact on economic development coming just from the arts and entertainment is a huge driver in Wilmington.
It's the thing that, people look at other big cities that, typically make it on the concert circuits and things like that, and they look at Wilmington and say, well, why would I pick Wilmington? But we clearly have a ton of folks, many of whom are sitting right here, who are they're changing the narrative and saying, no, Wilmington actually has this awesome homegrown arts sector, and you should spend your weekends, you should spend your happy hours, you should spend your time at museums and bars and all sorts of places where you can consume music and art, and it's exciting.
I mean, in Wilmington produces our triannual calendar, and we, every single day on the calendar grid, there is an event, not to mention a million others that are happening that don't make the cut because we don't have enough space for it. But, the people that say there's nothing going on around Wilmington, it's important. Are you living under a rock?
That's what I'm saying.
And if so, is the rent cheap? Because, it could be one beneficial thing, I guess. Misty.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your role in the Millennial Summit.
Okay, so I will be hosting on Thursday, which I'm super excited about. To have all these people come together in one space over these 2 days, and just all of the knowledge, all of the experience, just all of the connection in this small amount of time with so many people, I think it's amazing. And I'm just really happy to be part of it, that, I can kind of host the event and what's going on, but just to kind of just be in the mix of all these people connecting and being able to get something out of this summit. I mean, I know it's called the Millennial Summit, but it's not just millennials, it's everyone.
That's a good point, and was something I wanted to ask. So as an organizer, how do you define, like from an age range, how do you personally define millennial? Because the internets are debating this.
Yeah. So raise your hand if you thought a millennial was like a middle schooler stuck to like their phone, like when you heard it.
I just don't know anymore. I don't know what a millennial is. Women, tell me.
I just knew I was not a millennial.
Yes, I am not that.
Millennials is this term that I feel like has been weaponized, so that it's like all of these younger folks who, and I say younger folks, I'm talking like kids. Kids are not millennials. I am 25 years old, and I am the second to last year that qualifies. So I believe it's ages 24 currently through like 38, 39 is actually millennials. And you look at what 20s and 30s, what folks in their 20s and 30s are doing. These are the folks who are starting businesses and being community leaders and like really changing the face of things. And we're not lazy. We're not entitled. So, I think that that's a huge misconception. But to your point about the Millennial Summit, it is not just for young people. Just because it is a good day for young professionals to have that developmental growth, we're not the only people who are going to be there. A lot of business leaders come, a lot of, Tamarra, your boss is going to be there. He's speaking on some panels, and I know he's excited about it.
He's super excited.
He's a millennial at heart, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So.
It's a way of mine.
Yeah.
And ticket buyers, there's no
mindset,
age
yeah.
cutoff. So.
Millennial mindset.
Yeah, I mean mindset, millennial, older, crusty, whatever, whatever you want to call yourself.
I challenge you to use crusty.
That challenge accepted. No, whatever age you find yourself in, it's like never too late to start. Like it's never too late to like maybe go get some information that you didn't know about. And I think you come to these things with an open mind, and you're just going to be so like pleasantly surprised of like what you can get from connecting with all these people.
Yeah, I think there's something for everybody. And let's be clear, this is probably one of the first events that actually harnesses a large group, a diverse group that can speak to what Wilmington and what Delaware is about. Delaware in general just hasn't done a really good job historically of pulling us all together and developing an ecosystem. So last year we were so super excited at the amount of people that showed up for the first one. This year projecting more people to come. But for those of us who aren't millennials, it's an amazing opportunity to network and kind of get in on what's happening now, the changes. I mean, Delaware is reinventing itself. And this is a great opportunity for you to come out and see what's happening, what's going on,
Get
and get engaged.
reinvigorated in your own career. So tell us a little bit about your role in particular, specifically this year's summit. So
Newcastle County is a sponsor. We sponsored last year, and we're a sponsor of the event this year. The Meyer administration, one of our top initiative, all of our initiatives kind of fall under the idea of increasing the quality of life in Newcastle County, and making Newcastle County and Delaware in general a competitor when it comes to being a place where millennials or people of any age would like to come, live, work, and play. As the Director of Economic Development, one of my biggest responsibilities is making sure that not only are we supporting entrepreneurship and small businesses that are here, but that we are also developing an environment that is competitive and that is interesting to other companies looking for an East Coast presence. And so supporting the Millennial Summit kind of falls into everything that we're working on. We absolutely want to make sure that the people that are here can see what's going on, can connect and can interweave and develop this ecosystem where the arts are supported, where entrepreneurship is supported, where nonprofits are supported. And how does all of that tie in together to create a cool place to live, so that when someone is considering relocating with a company and they Google Delaware, they can find some really cool stuff going on. Because face it, we just haven't been a really cool place. So
I love your honesty. No, I love her honesty. She's like, look, we've been talking, okay?
So we're doing a lot. We're doing a really great job now.
Well, I think you hit on a point. Maybe some of it has been there, but it's never been brought together.
Cohesive, yeah.
Yeah, under one spotlight before. So it is really cool to see how you guys have done that.
Yeah.
Within, and I don't even want to say this realm of like business and entrepreneurship, because you've got so many different tracks, which we'll get to later, but so many different ways that you can explore the summit. I think that's a really unique piece too. But Greg, I don't want to leave you hanging. Let's talk about your role. What are you bringing to the Mill Summit table this year?
Well, I'm on 2 panels this year. I've been involved with the Millennial Summit since the first year. I volunteered my services every year, from greeting people at the door and helping people around and getting panelists water to setting up the step and repeats and breaking them down. The first time I attended, I recognized early on that this was something that really needed to be supported. Because as we were saying, for a long while, Wilmington wasn't a fun place. It was a violent place. And I've been involved in this community now for well over 30 years. And we used to frequently have to leave the state in order to get an education, if it was anything centered around arts or technology. And we would have to go to New York or Philadelphia or Baltimore in order to attend conferences and panels. And so when the Millennial Summit popped up, I felt like it answered a key question that a lot of young students and young people in general need. So they're frequently saying, well, after I get my education, where do I start? How do I start? Where do I go network? And until the Millennial Summit, there was nothing that really brought everything together that would allow somebody who's in an entry-level position or looking to expand their network, do it all in one place in a tax-free state.
Yeah. And
that
really
happens to be the best state in the whole union.
Understanding the opportunities that exist too is really is key. That's something that not every child is brought up to understand the world that is really out there. Yeah. Obviously you're not welcoming children to the Millennial Summit, but young folks in their careers still. We were talking about this off camera. I was a pre-vet major in college.
Right. I studied neuroscience for it. I have like a year and a half of a neuroscience degree.
We're doing nothing at all what we thought, what our childhood minds thought we were going to be doing.
Totally.
Anyway, I know we need to take a quick commercial break because we do have wonderful sponsors that are paying our bills, but we're going to get back into the discussion right after these messages.
Get it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait! Okay now,
from the beginning.
And we're back to the special Millennial Summit Focus edition of In the Mix. Thank you so much for joining us. Briefly, but last segment, I briefly touched on all the different tracks that you can take as a guest of the Millennial Summit, an attendee of the summit. Can you tell us a little bit more about those? Because it's really cool.
Yeah, totally. So unlike most conferences you go to, if your boss sends you to a conference, you're going for one specific set of skills. So if you're a finance professional, you're probably going to some sort of, and I'm not a finance professional, so excuse me if I butcher this, but like an accounting conference, or you name it. What's really cool about the Millennial Summit is it's entirely interdisciplinary. So we've got a finance track, we have a nonprofit track, we've got an arts track, we have a government and advocacy track. Throughout the years, these have just kind of formed because of the volunteer planning committee where their expertise lie, but also in the first year, just the most popular panel discussions that happened, we decided to dive deeper into that. So, so our finance track is really cool. We've got a lot of support from different corporations, like a lot of the banks participate in the credit unions, have people who come in and share their expertise on everything from student debt planning and saving for retirement and kickstarting your finances. So that's one piece of the day. The nonprofit track is focusing a lot on different systemic nonprofit challenges. So we're actually doing like a pitch competition where we put out a proposal to a lot of different nonprofits, excuse me. We selected 5 who have some sort of problem that they want to solve. So we're going to help them kind of like crowdsource some different solutions to like their specific problem. So so things like that. The arts, I'll let Terrance talk about a little bit more. We've got a whole day, like I said earlier, focused on entrepreneurship. So that is we've got 2 keynote speakers, both of whom are venture capitalists coming in, and then there are disruptor technologies panel. So we've got someone who's coming in to talk about like different healthcare disruptor technologies. So like 3 or 4 different people speaking on that. Digital disruptors. So we've got folks from like if you're in the mill, we're going to have someone from TrafficCast who like they do all of like the Waze and
traffic monitoring
on your phones,
cool
yeah, as well as folks who do blockchain and things like that. So like really cool, innovative stuff happening on Entrepreneurship Day.
So maybe I'm just saying this because I know Wilmington and I know how much crazy stuff happens here. Was this planned from the get-go that you wanted it to be this diverse, or was it just like, wow, we have all of these amazing things going on, specifically here in Wilmington, that have such a national appeal? Like, I know it's like a chicken or the egg thing, but how did you end up with such a diverse?
Yeah, so the Millennial Summit was founded by our executive director for Spur Impact, Charlie Vincent, and then Rob Herrera, who's the owner of the Mill Space. And the 2 of them got together, and the Millennial Summit was actually born out of this idea that they were going to do like an economic development speaker series, and it was going to be this like casual, once a month, once every couple of months kind of thing where people could come and just they would bring in different like economic development speakers. But what they realized really quickly was economic development as a concept is really interdisciplinary.
Yeah.
You can
So
talk about it from the
everything.
arts angle, you can talk about it from the government angle, you can talk about it from the business angle, both the traditional big businesses as well as smaller businesses and like the tech space. So it just kind of blossomed from there. One panel that I didn't, or one track that I didn't get to spend much time with, but I want to shoot over to Tamarra, is our government and advocacy track. In the past 2 years that we've done this summit, that has been primarily focused on bringing in younger elected officials, you know, the millennial elected officials, and basically putting them on panels to talk about what it's like to be a young elected official, because you look around and there aren't many young elected officials, and
that's changing
Yeah,
very quickly.
And it's cool, and it's cool.
Yeah.
But this year we decided to take the focus a little bit away from, you know, the experiences of a young elected official and focus on an issue that impacts everyone, which is the census. So I'll
Yeah.
turn it over to Tamarra to talk a little bit about what's going on.
Okay.
So yeah, take it away.
So thanks, Sarah. The Census 2020, is extremely important for many reasons. And we were super excited to learn that the census was going to be a part of the Millennial Summit, because not very many people know the significance of the census.
I didn't.
Right, especially this demographic. Newcastle County launched several months ago our strategic plan for the census. We are deeply committed to making sure that we educate the residents of Newcastle County about what the census means, and about the job opportunities actually that the census provides. We had, I believe, 27 or 28 job fairs where we were able to go into communities and actually have people apply online for the jobs connected to the census. Because what we found, statistics show that you are less likely to talk to someone knocking on your door if they do not look like you. And so we wanted to go into the communities that historically have been undercounted throughout the county and make sure that those individuals were applying for the jobs that are coming available. So I'll step back and just say that in general, the census is connected to federal funding. And so the federal government takes a look at the population of your state, and that's how you're allocated certain funding, federal money. And that's everything from purchase of care, which is assistance for people that need help paying for daycare. It's our food stamps. It's federal funding for education programs. It's federal funding for nonprofits. It's actually how we are allotted the number of representatives that go to Washington for us. We are under 1 million people currently, which is why we only have one congressperson. And so what we're trying to do as a county, Newcastle County, as everybody here probably knows, is the largest county in Delaware, and we also house the majority of the population. And Wilmington is in Newcastle County. And so we have to make sure that not only are we educating folks on the importance of making sure we get all of our money, but what it actually means outside of the federal funding as well. I believe in general, for every person that's not counted, it's, I think, $10,000, what is it, $10,000, something like that per year. We're leaving millions and millions and millions on the table.
Wow.
And that money can assist us with the revitalization of Delaware that all of us are connected to, that all of us are passionate about. And so we're super excited to participate and make sure and commit to be counted. And the county executive, Matt Meyer, is going to participate on that panel to talk about our strategy. Jessica Gibson in Newcastle County, she's the PR officer, is actually the lead for us. So going to our website, you can find more information about the census in general. You can sign up to be a part of our strategic plan, to be a part of a committee to help us. And we'll break all of that down during the Millennial Summit. But super important. We are so excited that it's that we have support throughout the state to get this up running and make sure that everyone commits to be counted.
So let's talk a little bit about revitalization,
Yeah.
specifically in Wilmington. I mean, if those of us who have been downtown for a while now, there's no doubt, there's no arguing that we're at a point, a turning point. We're really kind of rushing forward now in terms of revitalization, specifically downtown. We see a lot of millennials stepping into senior level and executive roles, all across the board. How do you feel like that piece, the millennials kind of like stepping into the driving seat now, is changing revitalization? Do you think
it's everything.
Is?
Yeah,
Is it everything?
It's everything. Diversity and inclusion is everything. In order to, in order to cultivate innovative and new ideas, you've got to have people around the table that have had different experiences. If you all look alike and you're all of a certain age, you're not going to come up with anything new, which is why for a very long time Delaware was stagnant. You see so much happening now because there are so many people that have stepped up and run for office. You see the leadership of the current administrations stepping out on faith and giving opportunity to younger people, where historically in Delaware, the Delaware way didn't do that. And so I think that it is everything. And when you think of it from the perspective of what we work on in my office, becoming competitive with Philadelphia, with Baltimore, with DC, for not only for companies, but also for people to come live here.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, unless we increase the tax base, we're not and no more money is coming in, we're not going to be able to do anything new. So we need people to come. We need people to work here. We need people to live here. And if we don't become cool and innovative and move into the 21st century, that won't happen. And so I think the leadership that is in place now, that has given opportunities for a more diverse group of people, I think has made the difference in Wilmington.
Yeah, Misty, I know that you have come from, the big city before, and you and I have talked about your experience here in Wilmington. So what are the differences, and what are you doing, and what can we all be doing to change Wilmington so that it is more competitive?
Yeah, well, I think just hearing that, where I haven't been in Wilmington it'll be like a year in September. So I haven't even been here a year. So hearing you say all that, and I think when someone first comes here, it's true. I was like, what is with this city? I can't put my finger on it. Where's the pulse? It tends to feel kind of disjointed to me at times, where it's where is the connection of all this? But hearing you say that, that's oh, that makes sense.
If I can interject, part of that disconnect is because historically, this has been a very blue-collar town because of the automotive industry.
Right,
and the fact that GM was here and had a strong presence in most of the larger neighborhoods. And when they left, it left a big void in the state where it was mostly just the banking industry, which is a technology-based industry. And so as I sat in on meetings with the governor and Vice President Biden, and I'm not trying to name drop, I'm just saying these are the people
go ahead.
No. I'm just saying that these are the people that are leading the charge in turning Delaware into a technology forward-facing state. And so the real estate that is blighted is being changed into technology centers. And they need young people from this state to be educated to work in those types of businesses. And so, I think that, part of the importance of the Millennial Summit is making sure people do understand that this change is coming. A lot of people make fun of millennials, like you said, you call them lazy and all that stuff, but it's also because of the economy we live in, the types of degrees that they may have pursued, where artificial intelligence and automation is replacing jobs. And so it's really important to attend something like the Millennial Summit, get updated and understand that this change is coming, and they do want you to be involved in it.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because moving here, like I said, I was living in New York. I'm like, oh my God, I need something that's just a little bit more, where's what I do? Where's my stuff? Where's my section? Where's this? And I think that's so great, because I hear that, oh, the change is coming, and I'm like, well, when?
Yeah.
It's been almost a year now, well, when? But it's that, change is not overnight. Change is, like you said, starting over. It's a different mindset. It's tackling these issues, and it's having the knowledge of okay, this is where we are coming from.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, this is why it is like this, and this is what we're doing to change it. Because I do feel like a lot of new people, and I'm including myself, is that we come here and we're just well, why? Versus well, how?
Well, I've got to say that I've been going to New York City for a very long time as well, right? For well over 30 some odd years. I don't want to date myself. And, you know, there was a time where New York City was going through that same
Yes,
transformation.
you're correct.
Downtown 42nd Street was, you know, not a place that you necessarily wanted to be after a certain time. And now, look at the difference that it's had in Manhattan for tourism and for the local economy. And, you know, I'm sure there's arguments that are pro and con with gentrification and all that stuff. But I'm just saying that what's happening here in Wilmington is almost a smaller scale of what's happened in the bigger cities. And, you know, there's greater opportunities as well because of what the federal government is doing with these opportunity zones. And so having people come in and understand that, you know, you can invest in areas like Wilmington and other areas of the state that are like that, and possibly launch your own business of your own, and, you know, have, you know, a real investment. I mean, the government, at least the local governments, are really working hard to make sure that there are opportunities for everybody.
What I want to mention and kind of tie it back into the importance of the Millennial Summit is Delaware was forced to kind of go through their transformation when the market crashed and DuPont had to restructure. You mentioned GM, but when you think about many of the pockets throughout Newcastle County, Claymont, those neighborhoods were built to create housing opportunities for people that were working in the manufacturing plants up there. Those jobs have since gone.
Well, and Chrysler as well, you know, in
Chrysler
Newark.
is gone, yeah, absolutely. And even when you consider the Route 9 corridor, that community also supported housing for people that worked at the port. And so when you think that all of these jobs either transitioned, shifted, or went away in a very short amount of time, we were forced to figure out who we are now. And it's important to have new and innovative ideas come in because we're not going to build things the way that we used to. And so the Millennial Summit to me is extremely important, especially for tracks like the nonprofit track, because you have a huge population in Delaware who are underemployed. They're working multiple jobs because they used to work and make $80,000 at GM and that job is gone. So how do we support families as we're trying to transition into who we are now? And this is an opportunity not only for folks regardless of age, but to see what's out there for you to get involved to help, and what opportunities are for you to grow and continue to grow here, and in general create a really cool place that I know that Delaware can be.
Yeah, I agree. I think you can establish, I will say this, I think you can establish stuff in Wilmington. You do, like, given that it's like, okay, you know, if I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna open up a, I'm thinking of something right now, like I'm gonna open up a
Candy shop.
A candy shop, you know? My chances are, you know what, I get something really good together, I go to the Mill Summit, talk to people who can help me with a business plan, all this stuff. It's like,
and call
okay,
me.
You can make it
call her,
happen.
I can make it happen.
Well, and Terrance,
Versus
that's a lot
like
of what
I'm in
you're
California
doing.
and there's
hard.
like
Absolutely.
500 candy shops. So,
Yeah.
you know, you really do have that, you have, I want to say grace to actually go get your hands messy and figure it out. And if it doesn't happen, it's not going to be the end of the world.
Yeah,
Like,
that is an advantage.
I will
Terrance
say
has
it
been
is
doing
definitely
a lot
more
of
than
that.
that.
So, like,
yeah.
what has your experience been in that? Because to your point, we used to have all these huge companies that employed a ton of people, and now more and more we're seeing people go out on their own. So, like, you have experience with that.
Well, you know, Wilmington is an extremely unique place because of its location. You know, and what I found is because we've been such a company town, it hasn't left a lot of room for imagination. So that's kind of where we've been stagnant and kind of jump starting the imagination of what Wilmington can be. And you know, one of the byproducts of that is like we're very bland to, like, as a visual person. You know, 30 minutes away, Philly has more murals than anywhere else in the world. It's the #1 place for murals in the world. We're 30 minutes away. Philly makes $4 billion almost a year in arts. You know,
Walking past your mural every morning as I walk from the Quaker Hill area to the mill where I work, I like walking past your mural. I don't know exactly what intersection that is my highlight of that walk every single time.
I've had people come from Colorado to see that mural.
The
You know
way
what
the
I mean?
light hits
You
that.
should
it's
plug
just-
it. Where is it?
So it's on 7th and Jefferson, right by the Hicks Anderson Community Center. Go check it out.
Yeah.
But you know that the identity of Wilmington is strongly tied into what we see visually. You know, because we need to be stimulated as we're walking the streets, just like you said. If there's no stimulation, people get bored and they seek it elsewhere. It's a natural human.
And major props
response.
to the creative district for really driving that
Yeah.
mural
For pushing it
initiative
out.
right now as well. And tell us about your company, Vibe Pro.
Yes, so
Tell us a
Vibe
little bit
Pro,
about that.
and Vibe Pro, you know, that's what we're aiming to tackle with a lot of this. Me and my fiance, Kiana, we really got frustrated, seeing a lot of the deficiencies, let's say, that we have to face. And at the end of the day, you know, it's one of those things. It's like, well, are we going to do something about it? Not only for ourselves, but other people that may be walking on this path at some point. Can we, unloosen some things to be able to kind of get the pipeline going a little bit? And Vibe Pro kind of started as a way to get ideas out there. You know, as a we do creative consulting, we do project management. It's a little bit of everything. You know, we have Vibe programs where we're doing mural programs and taking them into the schools, and we just did one in Ferris. We're working with West Center City Futures right now with Interfaith Housing to do a mural program with them. They have 18 students. We have Vibe Professionals where we do creative coaching with individuals and businesses.
That's amazing.
To be able to kind of.
That's an awful lot to tackle for a company. How long have you been official?
So we've been official for a year, but we haven't officially launched. We've done a lot. We've had like a lot of contracts where it was kind of like the trial run of things.
Right.
Before we kind of make a big announcement, and we are going to be actually launching the company right before Millennial Summit. And there will be a discount code, ladies and gentlemen. There will be a Millennial Summit discount code. So we're going to be launching it officially with the actual brand, so people know what the presence of it. But we've been working on just tightening things up and just getting our ideas kind of solidified before we present them. To other folks and entities.
Super
like that.
excited to see what is in the pipeline for you. We do need to take another quick break. We've got some fun games in store when we get back. Conversation's gotten a little deep, so we're gonna have some fun when we come back. Thanks for joining us for In the Mix. We'll be right back. Welcome back to In the Mix. If you're just tuning in, we have had a wonderful conversation with the Millennial Summit folks. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sarah.
Thank you for having all of us.
We talked about a little bit what goes into the planning process, what to expect with the Millennial Summit August 6th and 7th. That's a
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday and
we
Wednesday.
said Thursday a couple of times. Don't show up on Thursday. It's a totally different event. That's not us.
So August 6th and 7th at Chase Center on the Wilmington Riverfront. But let's lighten things up a little bit. You like to have fun at the Mill Summit, right?
Oh, well, of course. I mean, it is Wilmington's best and the region's best folks joining us. And you hear professional development conference and you might go, ooh, what do I have to wear? Do I have to wear khakis? Do I have to wear a suit? No, it is a young professionals conference, but it is also a day full of fun, and we have intentionally scheduled the day so that there were breaks. Part of our wellness track is people will be getting you up and active, so the fun department will be there, kind of keeping the ball rolling. But on center stage on Tuesday, the one, the only Misty is going to be running the show. So here's a little taste of what Tuesday's going to be like when Misty's got the mic.
Okay, so I thought I was on Thursday, but I guess it's Tuesday.
You really need to come on Tuesday.
Did you do that on purpose? You're like, come Thursday and see Misty, like no one will be there. It's okay. All right, so this little segment is what I would like to call Pitch Please. All right, and we're just gonna see where we're at with our pitching skills. I am here with Grouchy Greg, who is not grouchy. He's very pleasant, actually. When's the last time you did a pitch for something? an ideal concept?
I do pitches quite a bit.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
pitching salespeople, pitching advertisers.
Those
you
are
know.
confident words.
Well,
Yes.
I'm just being honest.
Okay, we're gonna see
Watch
how
me
you're
fail
doing these days.
miserably.
Okay, so in this beautiful hat that I have some concepts and ideas. And so you're gonna pull one out and you are going to pitch me the idea or concept. You're not gonna say what it is, you're just gonna pitch it. So you can't look at it and say blah, 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 blah. You have to pitch it, you have to sell me.
But
You
I
have-
can't tell you what the concept
Well,
is.
I know what the concept is,
Okay.
but you have to pitch it to me.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do my best.
Pitch, please.
You got this.
All right,
bestie.
so go ahead and
No.
pick one out. You have
Okay.
60 seconds, okay?
Okay.
All right, pitch me. Starting. Read it. Ready? Here we go.
We like to put people on
So-
the spot and make them uncomfortable, so you're welcome.
I believe that I have a brand new product that
Okay.
has the potential to disrupt a very big category, you know, multi-billion-dollar category.
Disrupt. I like that word.
Yes, it's a new type of shoe that will allow specifically women to be able to decrease the amount of time they spend in a park, as spending time changing, basically. It's the concept of a running shoe with a heel that would be able to be detached,
Okay.
so that once they came from work, they'd be able to go and exercise as much as they want.
I see.
In addition to having a Bluetooth speaker on the heel, so they can enjoy their music or answer their phone as they are exercising.
I like that. I'll go with it. Would you buy that?
So what was it?
It's a running shoe
Oh.
with a detachable.
I'm not supposed to say it?
Oh no! Well, you
Okay.
kind of said it.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
With
Well,
a detachable heel, it's a Bluetooth speaker.
I'm sold.
Which don't anybody try to get that. You've heard it here first, so if we see that.
hey, Kanye
words.
is making a shoe that you spray it with a certain bacteria and it just disappears. So it's not impossible.
Sounds
All
good.
right, am I out of here?
I can't wait to purchase those shoes. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
you're off the hook. You can detach now. But of course, we're gonna keep the quirky
That was
fun
great, Grouchy
going.
Greg.
Who wants to go
Thank you.
next?
That's all
All
right.
right.
All right.
Tamara's being brave. She's gonna step behind the desk. And of course, working on your pitch skills. Pitch, please. Just one of the many
Yes.
things that you can learn at the Millennial Summit.
Absolutely. We're going to have a ton of networking opportunities. And again, I want to pitch that Coach's Corner where you'll have the opportunity both on Tuesday and on Wednesday to speak with professionals, whether you want to talk about building a business, public speaking, you name it. We got folks who will help you out.
And while we're on pitches and plugs, I forgot to mention that this segment is actually sponsored by the Delaware Taco Festival. And whomever we decide, the three of us, Misty, Sarah, and I will be judging here, whoever we decide gives the best pitch for their product wins 2 general admission tickets to the Taco Fest, August 17th at the Wilmington Riverfront.
Ooh.
Okay.
Pitch, please.
Pitch,
Misty.
please. I want tacos. I like tacos too. So whoever wins, maybe they'll take me, maybe not. All right. I feel like she's gonna give it to me really good. Okay, ready?
I hope so.
All right. Let me know when you read it.
The confusion sets in.
Okay, let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Pitch, please.
Are you a really busy woman that has very little time to prepare her meals?
Yeah.
Do you spend a fortune on eating out for lunch?
Not really. I'm super cheap.
Well, if you're like me and you want a fast, healthy, nutritional option
Ooh, I do.
for lunch, we have an amazing new opportunity for you that will be in stores soon.
Ooh, what is it?
It is our new Cricket meal replacement bar.
Ew, I'm not eating that cricket. I'm not gonna do
High in
it.
protein. It tastes like chocolate.
Crickets taste like chocolate?
The replacement bar tastes like chocolate. You'll love
okay.
it. You wouldn't
All right.
even know.
But it's crickets. Like, why would I eat a cricket?
they're high in protein. So
Okay.
those of us that work out first thing in the morning, you don't have a chance to grab a full breakfast. You don't have an opportunity to get a nutritional lunch.
Okay.
You're eating junk food. If you grab this Cricket bar, it's going to give you all the nutritional replacements that you need so that you can stay healthy and continue to rule the world as superwomen do.
Do crickets have gluten? Will it make me gassy?
It's gluten-free.
Like, do we know more
It's-
about these crickets?
It's gluten-free, sodium-free, sugar.
Free range
Free.
crickets.
Oh, free range. Okay, let's do it.
Crickets are the ticket. Love it.
That was good. She's like, yeah, crickets.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I won't be eating any crickets anytime soon.
Yeah,
but I
you're
don't
a vegetarian.
I was gonna say it crosses my vegetarian
Yeah.
line.
Oh,
But
that's
I
all
mean,
right.
I'm interested.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. Crickets cross the vegetarian
I
because they're
believe
alive?
Crickets
got parents.
cross the vegetarian
They,
line.
they've got a mom and a dad.
So it's not
Or
just
two
meat
moms.
and dairy,
I don't know.
it's anything that's alive.
Yeah. Well,
Well, then you
plants are
can't eat
alive. Then we
plants.
then we're gonna get into
The
those
Alright,
conversations.
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
next time we do this, we'll get onto the philosophy.
You guys can't eat anything. Here, eat this hair.
All right, Terrance, it's time for the great change out. We know you are a creative entrepreneur. You are a man of many talents.
But you've got some tough competition.
You do have some
yeah.
Frankly,
competition
I don't
here.
know.
Very tough.
You know, I might be in a place where, the shoes might be pulling ahead for me.
You eat the bar while you wear the shoes.
Exactly.
tough
So
call.
far, these
Tough
first two go
call.
hand in hand. So I guess we're gonna have to. See
Terrance, are
what-
you a millennial?
I am.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you're representing right now for the
Yeah.
millennials. It
Yeah,
all lies
represent.
on you.
Hey, why didn't you
Absolutely.
ask
I've
me
seen
that?
a lot of
Okay.
OxyClean commercials.
You kept
know what I
dating
mean?
yourself.
What else? What's your favorite commercial?
It's got to be OxyClean, man. R.I.P. What's his name?
Billy Mays.
Billy Mays.
Aw.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Billy Mays, man. Great pitch, man. Great
Can we
pitch.
just give a moment to Billy Mays, everybody?
I
Okay.
shouldn't be laughing. I'm sorry.
Great pitch, man,
It was
right there.
amazing.
Okay, so this is for Billy, I guess you could say.
This is for
pitch
Billy.
is for Billy. Okay. All right, go ahead and pick it. Read it. Okay, let me know when you're ready.
Pitch, please.
Oh, okay. This is good.
Really? Give me
Yeah.
it back. No, I'm joking.
This is good.
Okay.
I like
All right. Ready?
this. Yes.
Go.
Okay, so do you have a dog, cat, maybe a squirrel? We
No.
don't know. We don't know what you have. But are they out of shape? Are they out of shape? Are they eating poorly? Do they need physical improvement?
And that's
Well,
what the
let me
cricket
tell you,
bars.
we just opened a brand new gym just for your pets. You're not even allowed, just your pets. And it comes with personal trainers.
Okay, so what about if my dog gets hurt? Is there insurance? Are there spotters
Now,
there?
There are some waivers you have to sign. There
Okay.
are some waivers, but it is in accordance with all the pet safety standards. And,
Okay.
Just a little paw print that's needed on the line, or
the
legal-
animal does have to sign.
Okay, do the
The animal
females
doesn't-
work out with the males? Is there a heat issue thing of
is there a lot
How-
of butt sniffing?
how
going
does that
on?
work?
We don't allow butt sniffing.
Okay.
My
It's
dogs are
we
out
like to keep it
bad.
very professional. And the dogs we switch it by species. So the dogs,
Ooh,
cats.
Okay.
If you have a ferret, we don't have that all together.
Okay. And so ferrets are welcome or not welcome?
Ferrets, they need to stay in shape too.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good.
A
All right. I like it. Ferrets don't need to stay. I don't like ferrets. I'm not a fan of ferrets. I'm sorry. It's like a snake with fur that just has really beady eyes.
They get really stinky too.
Yeah. I'm just sorry, ferret lovers. I'm just.
Well, so this is a
This
tough
gym
choice.
will not have ferrets.
It's a really tough choice. I think each and every one of them brought something different and unique to the table.
Yeah, I don't know. What are you thinking?
I'm going to have to vote for our cricket bar, I believe. And Tamarra, what's your vote, Sarah?
I don't know, man. I think I'm with the shoes. It just seems so. I can't go to the gym in this. So what do we do if it's a tie?
There we go. Krusty's won
no.
Millennial cereal.
Isn't there a
We
third
have a
vote?
production assistant who I like to throw on the spot over to the side. Margie,
Oh.
who was your favorite pitch, Margie?
I was never going to eat crickets until that.
Margie was never going to eat crickets until that moment, so we have a winner.
Oh, sorry,
Congratulations, Tamarra. Well, sadly, I think that kind of brings our In the Spotlight segment of In the Mix
If there's one thing to remember,
to an
it's
end today.
cricket bars.
Cricket bars.
That's the takeaway.
Available
Oh, you
soon.
know.
They
which
are coming.
I'm
They're
pretty
out
sure,
there.
Misty.
Are they?
this
Yeah,
is a
they
real
are out
thing,
there.
right?
Yeah, they're
This must be
Legit.
good for
Oh.
you. Yeah.
Well,
Already out there.
available now.
Yeah, yeah.
Then.
They're out there. Like as far as like I know you can get them online. I mean, they're not in a Whole Foods or anything, but you can get a
But
cricket.
soon.
Yeah,
You can get
Soon
just about
it'll
anything
be on a Whole
online.
It will
Foods
be.
shelf near you.
She's behind it. It definitely will be.
We will not be having, to the
started-
best
yeah.
of my knowledge, any cricket bars at the Millennial Summit, but that is just about the only thing that is missing.
We have time
So,
to work on this.
Absolutely.
They might make an appearance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still a couple of weeks until the event, so get your tickets. The Millennial Summit on August 6th and 7th. You can go to millsummit.com, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the things, and in Wilmington.
Yes,
thank you
and
for being a proud supporter of the Millennial
Of
Summit.
course. And Wilmington actually has a discount code as well. I can't remember it in particular off the top of my head, but we'll drop it in the comments below this video so you guys can take advantage of that.
Yes.
Anything else I'm forgetting?
Mostly just thank you to Greg, Tamarra, Terrance, and Misty for joining us today.
Wonderful guests today. Thank you guys
Yay.
so much. And thank you for being a wonderful audience. We will see you next time on In the Mix. Yeah?